of honor for the day, we now request our Chennai chapter honorary secretary, Mr. Vignesh Ramanan, to introduce Dr. Prithika Chary, Neurologist, Neurosurgeon, Epileptologist, to our audience.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my pleasure and honor to introduce our guest of honor for the day, Dr. Prithika Chary, Senior Consultant Neurologist, Neurosurgeon and Epileptologist from Kauvery Hospital, Chennai. Raised in an atmosphere where culture, languages, education, discipline and service to other ways of life. Dr. Prithika Chary is a Senior Consultant Neurologist since 1978. She is the first and only lady in India to be qualified and practicing as both neurophysician and neurosurgeon. Initiated comprehensive services for epilepsy in Chennai in 1994 by starting Epicenter, Epilepsy Institute and Center for Treatment, Training, Research and Education. Introduced the first video EEG service in the private sector in the whole of South India in 1994. She is a consultant neurologist, Chennai, as well as since 1990 and continuing. She served in Tamil Nadu government service in Madras Medical College from 1974 to 1982. Worked for 28 years in Apollo Hospital, Chennai, from its inception in 1983 till 2012. Attached to Kauvery Hospital, Chennai, from 2012 till date. Active in various social and cultural organizations and a member of several professional bodies, both national and international. Through NGOs like Rotary Club of Madras, Temple City, the Madras Management Association, Chennai, the Intercultural Women's Association, etc. And on her own, she has created several awards and is involved in social causes in the community, especially those empowering and enabling girl children, women, the less abled, and the economically underprivileged. She is honorary advisor member, the Duchess Club, Chennai. She served on the committee of Madras Management Association for 6 years in charge of Healthcare Forum, Women Managers Forum. She initiated an annual Women Managers Conference and instituted by personal donation an Outstanding Women Manager Award given annually. Invited speaker for 4 years continuously from 2004 by IBN International of Malaysia for the Women of Power and then Women of Independence Conference, a women's conference held annually around March in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. In March 2009, she was the chairperson for the entire 2-day conference with 16 international speakers from USA, Australia, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Thailand, India, and Malaysia. She is also an NLP master practitioner, a certified soft skills trainer, and an image consultant, life and brain health coach. She is the founder and chief resource person of Creative Karma, an initiative since 1995, which does talks, seminars, workshops on brain-based strategies to lead balanced, healthy, fulfilled life. During the pandemic, a flagship program called Be Your Best with Dr. Prithika Chary was started to become stress hardy and stress fit, improve outcome and afterlife or healthy challenge by understanding and tapping into the spirit-minded brain endocrine body immune system link. Online webinars on Zoom, Insta Live, motivational bites on Insta Reels are the vehicles to convey these strategies. Madam, it is indeed a pleasure to have you with us here. Looking forward to hear from you.
How many of you are familiar with this movie? How many of you have seen it? Right. So, do you all, he jumped the slide, so anyway, how many of you know what that RRR stands for? No, let me get some ideas from you. Okay, the people who made the film, actually their names, the important people in the film, all their names, Rama Rao and Rajamouli and all, their names begin with R. That is one interpretation. The other interpretation, which in Telugu, Raudram, Ranam, Rudiram is what it's supposed to imply. When translated into English, it is rise, roar, revolt. So can you all rise? Can you all roar and say, I've got this? We can do it. Nothing is going to stop us. Sit down. Thank you. So it so happened, I went to my dentist yesterday, and he asked me to come back today for some tooth job. I said, my face will be swollen, I cannot go to the function. And he said, I told him what I'm going to talk, and I said, your conference theme is resilience, rejuvenation, research. He is the one who gave me this idea about this RRR. Anyway, from that, if you actually look at it, resilience is when you rise to the occasion, okay, whatever is happening in your life. And for rejuvenation, you have to decide that you're going to really roar and make your presence felt. Okay? Then your resurgence happens through it's a revolutionary things that we all have to learn. So I thought it was very appropriate to get that meaning and combine it with the meaning of your theme for the conference. Now, how many of you feel you would like to improve your life post-pandemic and embrace the new normal? Raise your hands, please. Thank you. Now, like he said, what is a neurologist doing in a Foundrymen's meeting? I've been a neurologist, neurosurgeon in active clinical practice in the city of Chennai since 1978. I've empowered over 10,000 patients because my focus is always to give them quality of life, to live like everyone, with everyone, in spite of disability, in spite of limitation. Because in neurological disease, disability is very common. Like when you get a stroke, you get paralyzed. When you have a spinal injury, your legs are paralyzed. So there's a lot of disability. And many patients find it, sometimes they feel that's the end of their life. They can't carry on anymore. So we've been practicing resilience over the years with my patients or for my patients. In addition, I've been doing stress management and leadership and motivational talks. I've done for the IIM Ahmedabad, I've done IIM Indore, I've done for group captains and air commodores. Then we have this, anyway, doesn't matter. I can't get that. So I'm also, in addition to being a neurologist or neurosurgeon, as he said, I'm a soft skills trainer, certified. I'm an NLP master practitioner certified, image consultant certified. So I have impacted the lives of more than 30,000 people, helping them to live fulfilled, balanced, and happy lives. So this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And I really thank you all for giving me this opportunity and inviting me to be able to do what you want me to do today. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Now, do I have the permission of the house to share some of my life lessons? Thank you. So this is the first, where's the pointer? Sorry, I gave it back to you. The first picture is how I used to be. Okay? In 2016, December, I had my annual health checkup. Sorry. This picture, the first picture, is how I was before 2016. December 2016, routine health checkup, diagnosis, rectum cancer, grade 3. So how do I handle that? What you're seeing in the middle picture is me in the hospital bed, about to undergo surgery for 8.5 hours for resection of the tumor. And what you see in the last picture is how I looked after my chemo, my radiation, etc., when I was supposed to be recovered. So you can see that I don't really look my best still. That was 2018, 2019. So I had to make up my mind whether I'm going to be a victim or a creator. Am I going to take an outside-in approach and I expect the whole world to help me? Or am I going to take an inside-out approach and decide I will first help myself and then I will seek help from others? Now, when you talk about resilience, it is strengthening your own capacity to bounce back. So, there are 4 phases in human resilience. The first one is proactive. You understand the situation, you accept it, do whatever, marshal all your resources, what you can utilize to bounce back. The second phase is the response phase. You use all that and try to start getting better. The third phase, you recover. And after that, you reflect on what lessons did you learn, how did that experience, what did it do to you? Did it break you? Did it bend you? Or did it lift you? So these are the stages in which we go through the human resilience. So the first thing that I had to do, and first step in resilience, is always accept every situation exactly as it is, without judgment. So that's what I did. I accepted my cancer. Grade 3 means I was also told that I had a 31 to 50% chance of being alive in 6 months. So that was the prognosis level of that cancer, because grade 4 is the highest level. I decided I'm going to say no to negativity. I did not allow any negative emotion, and if any visitors came home, I told them, if you come home, don't keep a long face and say, "Ayyo, nee nallava, unakku poi cancer vandhude," because it has nothing to do with that. I said, if you come there, smile, laugh, make me laugh, let's chat about the government. We can, if you want to, complain, go ahead and complain about anything else, but let it be general. The third thing is, I'm basically not a person I'm a single woman. I've lived my life very successfully as a single woman. I'm not much for asking help from people, because I think I'm a burden if I ask help, because everyone has their own problems. But I exposed my vulnerability. I don't have much family to support me through my illness. I have 2 sisters whose health is not as good as mine. And so I reached out, and my amazing friends, they came and helped me, and I got through the whole 1 year of very arduous, very difficult, painful treatment. So if you really have to be strong, you must have the guts to ask for help. See, people are willing to help you. You have to tell them how. What we do is we don't tell anybody, and then we expect them. They know I got cancer, why can't they come and offer help? That's a stupid way of dealing with it. You ask for help. There are people who will willingly come and help you. That's another very important element in resilience. And what happens when you do all this? You develop what is called as grit. Now, grit is an indomitable spirit. It's a drive for achievement, no matter what my background is, my upbringing is, or whatever the situation is. And you literally get down and work in the trenches and are able to put in the hard work, and you get your fantastic results because of that. Remember, pain is temporary. But if you decide at that time that you're a victim and you want to quit, quitting is going to be your regret forever, because you've lost an opportunity to utilize the pain to grow. So how did I rewire my brain, my pillars of resilience? I realized that no matter how much anyone loves you, it is you who have to suffer the consequences of a health or a life challenge. No one else can suffer it for you. First realization. Second, the sooner you accept the situation, start marshalling all your resources, sooner you can get over it. I decided to expose my vulnerability, as I already told you, and people just came from all kinds of places, all corners of my associations to help me. And last but not least, please remember, all of us have negative experiences in our life. We are all not living 100% positive all the time. That's not life. But a negative experience does not mean a negative life. It means you learn from it and keep going forward. For that, you have to learn to love yourself. Many of us have poor self-esteem, self-confidence, etc., because we feel we are not worthy of our own love. And only if you love yourself, others will know how to love you. Very simple point. But many of us think that we are, not okay and we don't deserve it. We are not worthy. So I went from striving in the brown sari. You can see I'm still not looking too good, but it was 2018, middle of 18, end of 18. Then I moved, 2019 was the middle picture, where I'm looking better and this thing. And the last picture is me now, after 6 years after diagnosis. So remember that sometimes all of us lose ourselves for a little while. It's okay. It's okay not to be okay sometime. All I decided was that I'll make my comeback much better than my setback. And for that, you have to have guts. You have to be courageous. You must be willing to accept and keep going. I also chose to make the rest of my life the best of my life. So that is resilience. So can the brain be rewired and can resilience be taught? Certainly it can be taught. If you are not strong enough to be resilient, there are many ways in which we can teach. We did a workshop couple of weeks ago on rewiring your brain for resilience. So how can you rewire your brain? See, when we do any activity, there is a synaptic connection between the nerves. They communicate with each other. And you build a strong communication pathway in the brain to make that happen. It's like walking on an empty plot of grass. நிறைய பேர் நடக்க ஒரு path வந்துரும். In the brain, the same thing happens. So when there is a weak activation of your synapses, that's you're not using your brain much, you'll find that it does not energize the synapse and does not make it grow. But when you're strongly and frequently activating, using your brain, because the concept of use it and lose it with your brain is because you have to work with the neuroplasticity, which is the ability of the brain to change with any kind of input, environmental or otherwise. So you have to keep strongly, frequently activating it. It alters the synaptic structure, makes it stronger, makes the connection stronger. And the implications of that are that when you do learning of any kind, see, you're sitting in a conference today, you're going to be given some technical talks. Remember that just training is not enough. You have to keep repeating, you have to keep practicing. So resilience also is like that. You have to build it up. You have to keep doing things in such a way that you are able to bounce back. And there is a substance called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which builds up the nerve cells. It will help the brain to do the neuroplasticity, adapt and learn. It improves all kinds of neuroplasticity, physical, emotional, mental, the spirit, mind, brain, body link, as your immune system. All of this can be improved by improving your brain. And what are the things that help you to increase your BDNF? Some kind of exercise every day, adequate sleep, fat less and sugar less kind of nutrition. And when you are stressed, cortisol is a hormone which is produced, and that will cut down levels of BDNF. So if you are not stressed, if you learn how to be stress fit, how to be resilient, how to bounce back from problems, you'll find that your BDNF levels go up. The WHO recommended these top 10 life skills: problem solving, creative thinking, self-awareness, interpersonal relationship, management of stress, decision making, critical thinking, empathy, good communication, and management of emotion. Now resilience is all of this. So it's not something far away there which you sometimes go and look at and come back. It is something that you incorporate into your life, and you keep doing it again and again till you become quite a master at it. So the definition of resilience, it's an ability to recover from or adjust easily to a misfortune or any kind of change. A life without challenge is a boring life. So challenges make our life interesting, and when you overcome them, you get a new kind of strength and you get more life meaning out of it. So resilience is many things. It starts with having a high self-esteem, being flexible in your outlook, having strong relationships, emotionally regulating yourself, being mindful, being non-judgmental. All of these factors are what resilience really is. So what are the 7 building blocks of resilience? I told you already, it is acceptance. And acceptance is just a simple recognition of the truth, that this is the way things are in this moment, which is what I did when I got the diagnosis. All of us want everyone to accept us as we are. So you have to start accepting others the same way. You want to be accepted as you are. Learn to accept other people with their good, bad, ugly, with their warts, with their beauty, their ugliness, everything, which is something that many of us find difficult to do. What is the second building block? It is to always look at the big picture. Now, many of us look at life like these blind men are looking at the elephant. One blind man holds the leg and says it's like a tree trunk. One man holds the trunk of the thing and says it's like a horse. One man holds the tail and he says it's like a rope. So this is how we tend to look at life. What we have to learn to do is look at the whole of life, not just break it into small pieces and lose our focus. So don't miss the forest for the trees. The forest is beautiful. Don't waste your time just nitpicking on whatever is happening, bothering you now. Learn that there's a wider role you have to play in life. So you have time, it is time for you to adapt. The third skill in resilience building block is empathy. Empathy means validating other people's feelings and imagining you are in their shoes. Then you can also, it also means you have to listen to people. You have to learn to improve your listening skills and be genuinely, you want to care about other people. What is the fourth? Solution-focused thinking. Now, when you build up your resilience to a good level and you're asked to deal with a problem, say in your office or whatever, you'll find that if you're resilient, you're able to come up with a solution much better and much faster. Not only that, you may become so good that you will generate a plan A, plan B, plan C, which is the best way to deal with any problem. But why is it we don't do it? Because we have such poor self-esteem. We think we are not worthy. So what are we doing? Self-sabotaging ourselves. I am not enough. I can't do it. I'm not worthy. I must be perfect. I must not make a mistake. I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. We do all this to ourselves. So you have to get out of your own way. 90% of the time, the person blocking your growth and progress is yourself. But we're always trying to find an excuse, a complaint, or a blame on someone else. So learn to say, I am worth it. You can all say it. I am worth it. I deserve it. I matter. I love myself. I do enough, I have enough, and am enough. I accept myself just as I am. So if you just do this to yourself periodically, your self-esteem will definitely be much higher than it probably is at the moment. But for this, we need to be very aware. Some of us are drifting through life. We're not aware of all that's happening around us. We had got ready, went to the office, did the work. We're all doing a good job. We're being good family people. We're being good workers. We're doing all that. But you're not really aware of either yourself or you're not living a higher life. Your vibrational energy is low. So self-awareness is an ability to take an honest look at your life without attachment to it being right or wrong. So this is the way my life is, this is the way I'll handle it. That is self-awareness. Why is it that we find difficulty in having self-awareness? By the age of 9, your brain has been completely programmed by your parents, your teachers, your whoever. So what you are today is what you learned then. So at that time, they would have said, you must do this, you should do this, otherwise there's a punishment to it. Like that, various inhibitions we have built over the course of our life. And remember that the hardest prison to escape is in your mind. So to start your resilience journey, you have to free yourself from all this that's knocking you down. So be the best version of you. Simple formula. Always, whatever you do, be the best version of you. And be grateful that you're able to be the best version of you. We forget to be grateful. Because even small changes can bring massive results. This is a plastic surgery done on this lady's nose. The difference between the first picture and the second picture is 2 millimeters. So small, very, very minimal changes can lift you and give you high impact. And remember, once you have that high impact, even one small change can have a tremendous impact and cause a ripple effect around you. Other people around you also will start becoming like you. The next one is, think of the other people in your life. You build your connections. To me, building connections is cooperation, collaboration, communication, having concern for each other, being compassionate towards yourself and everyone else. Remember that people who can't stand to see the success of others will never experience their own success. So no envy, no jealousy, no. Competition is okay in a healthy way, not cutthroat competition. So learn to give hope to yourself and others, help people, give generously, show caring, share love and whatever unique talent God has blessed you with the rest of the world. This is the most important building block of resilience. It is self-care. As a doctor, I cannot be too vehement if I say, please look after your health. I got that cancer in 2016 because that year I went through a lot of other life challenges. I stopped caring about my health. And I was convinced I brought the cancer upon myself. So I also convinced myself I can get rid of it, which I have done. Remember, self-care is not being selfish. It also means forgiving yourself, taking a step back from time to time, asking for help, spending alone time, saying no so that you have boundaries. Otherwise people eat you up. You have to have boundaries. So there are a lot of things that you can do with self-care. Remember that your thoughts can kill or heal you. Because you watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, and that becomes your destiny. The Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said this. So why do we have problem with our thoughts? Because we have some thinking errors. Have I got time enough to just do these? Another 2 minutes? Right. Okay. So one of the biggest thinking errors we all suffer from is we ignore the good in any situation. Because the brain has a natural negativity bias. So if the whole day has gone beautifully, supposing everything is going fine, something terrible happens just for a short time which disrupts this entire conference. When you think of the conference later, you won't remember all that went well. You'll only remember what disrupted it. That is the negativity bias of the brain. So, learn to do what I call as taking in the good. In people, in situations, in circumstances, whatever. So, நம்ம தமிழ்ல ஒரு பழமொழி இருக்குல்ல, தலைக்கு வந்து தலப்பாவோட போயிடுச்சுன்ட்டு. So like that, you have to understand that it could have been worse. See, for me, when I got grade 3 rectum cancer, I said, I should be happy it is not grade 4. Okay, so like that you have to learn to take in the good in everything in your life. The other thinking error that we all have is we make mountains out of molehills. It will be a small problem. அது ஒரேடியா புலம்பி கிளம்பி பெருசுப்படுத்தி எல்லாரையும் இன்வால்வ் பண்ணி எல்லாரையும் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணி விட்டு. So learn to take things in their real sense and their reality. Don't unnecessarily magnify it. Fortune telling. This is a very interesting thing we all do. We predict. We are such good predictors of, see, last time I came to MMA, I needed to, something didn't work for me. So, before I come today, I'll say, today I'm going again to MMA. That same thing may repeat. It may not repeat, but we'll only think it may repeat. The bad thing that happened may repeat. So, this is called fortune telling. So, just go, deal with it, be in the present, deal with what's happening now. Then mind reading. I am assuming that all of you think I'm some kind of a freak. I don't know what you're thinking, but I will sabotage myself. I will tell myself, see, I'm this old lady among all these young people, and they must be making comments about how old this lady is, why is she talking, something. I can imagine all that. On the other hand, I can say, this old lady is being respected and appreciated. So, who's going to feel better by this thought versus that thought? I. Because neither of them may be happening. But it's much better for me to think the second way than the first way, isn't it? Negative labeling. I am a loser, I am nothing. We label other people also negatively. Oh, my maid, she's always like this. She will never wash the dishes properly. So, we do negative labeling of people. As far as you are concerned, it's a competitive life, competitive world. Sometimes we set the bar too high. It's good to have big dreams. It's good to think big, but also be realistic. And don't expect that you will go from here to there just because you thought big. You have to climb the steps. You can't just jump from here to there. So when we try to do that and we don't succeed, it upsets us. Our thoughts become negative. Then believing that all your feelings are facts. I'm feeling uncomfortable sitting next to, I thought I was the only woman in the room. There's one more. Thank you. So there were times in my career where I was the only woman in the room. And sometimes you feel, no, always I have to sit with these fellows. I don't like it. Just learn to say, so what? Okay, this is not happening. It is contrary to my belief. It's not a fact. So learn to say, so what? The should statements I've already told you, programmed by teachers, my parents, everybody we move around with throughout our life. I'm not supposed to do this. I should not do this. Or I should do this, otherwise I'm not going to succeed. So it's okay. The contrary thought is, it's okay. I do feel this way, all my feelings matter, but that's not going to impact the whole result of whatever the situation is. So when you are resilient, what are the qualities you will have? You will have passion, like I have now. You will have perseverance, like I stuck it out for 6 years post-cancer to get where I am today. That's called grit. It's that tenacity and desire to just stick with it. You will learn how to overcome setbacks. You will learn how to adapt to change. The COVID has produced so much change that we are living in an entirely new world now. So many things I'm from the 80s and all that, I was in college. So many things of those days went off when the technology came. Like that, lot of stuff has gone off for many of us. We just have to learn to adapt to change and mold it to suit ourselves and to keep going in spite of difficulty. Then what happens? Your mental, social, spiritual, emotional being will be complete and you'll have psychosocial health. Your mental is your thinking. Social is the relationships and connections you build. Spiritual is understanding that there is a meaning in life, that I have a purpose in life, just being who you are. And emotional is managing your emotions and your feelings, not getting reactive, just being responsive to many things in life. So, I just finished my talk with this question. When bad things happen, which one are you? Are you the first picture or are you the second picture, where you're going to convert all your stumbling blocks into stepping stones? So with that, thank you once again for having invited me. If you want to connect with us, this is the information that you can check out my website. If you need to connect with us, you're welcome. And I sincerely thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to share my life lessons. Thank you.
I think
amazing talk, Doctor. I'm sure people will have questions. Any questions for Doctor, please?
Good morning, madam. I'm Prem from Nelcast. As our chairman was telling, what is the connection between Foundry and Neurologist? Honestly, I'm telling you, almost 20% of the people take leave because of the health issues. Even if you are 11 people in a cricket team, you see how many injuries are happening. If you are clear about the how to work, like whatever the process you have been telling, that if we educate to the foundry industry, it will be nice for us to give more output to the company. I see a lot of things which is really it is happening in our family life as well as in the professional lives. If you create something different way of educating, foundry people are not so professionals like you. All are.
No, I'm a resilience coach. I do one-to-one coaching. I do group coaching.
Yeah.
I do conferences, seminars. I do all of that.
So if you do like this to some other day on a one-day program to us,
I had
workshop.
actually told him, but they are working on it.
One-day workshop. Yeah, let me
Because
complete.
if it's a one day, we can actually analyze yourself. You can, there'll be opportunity for you to really get to know yourself better.
Personality development program or something like that. It'd be nice for us to join that team. Thank you very much. Yours is
We had already
so good.
requested that.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Morning, doctor. That was a really illustrating talk, and I think definitely you brought out what day to day we all go through. I have a question. Were you always so strong?
I think so.
Yeah.
No, because everybody who sees me says, you can do it because you're so strong. But I was not born strong, no. Actually, I was a bit of a sickly child. And then what happened, once I started going to school and all that, I used to get wheezing often. So I said, no, I'm not going to live this kind of life. I want to love my life. And I went into deep exercises. I started doing a lot of physical exercise, playing a lot of vigorous games, throw ball, net ball, whatever, jump around, to use the monkey ladder, all that.
So what was your first reaction? Because that's, I think, the most important part of your life. When you had this grade 3 cancer that you diagnosed, I'm sure you must have gone through a period of...
my first reaction.
Yeah.
I didn't care about dying. I didn't care about having a cancer. I'm sorry. I didn't care about dying. I didn't care about having cancer. I said, how am I going to manage this? I have to go for chemotherapy, I have to go for radiation, I have to go undergo surgery. Who's going to hold my head when I'm vomiting from the side effect of chemotherapy? That was my problem more. So 4-5 days I spent in reflection, and that's how I worked out these strategies. I said, I put these guideposts. Nobody else can do it for you. You have to marshal your resources. You have to expose your vulnerability. You have to ask for help. So that's how I worked it.
Thank you.
Because one thing I've taught myself right from childhood is I've actually gone where other people have not gone, kind of thing. That's my life. I dare to do, if you get what I mean. So I have learned that I am not living a life to impress anybody. I am living my life the way I love to live my life. And I believe I wanted to be a doctor from age 2. So I believe I'm a contributor, that a person or a place should be better because I pass through. That has been my mantra for life. So nothing really will disturb you too much. I've had my share. 2016, I told you I've had betrayals, I had a lot of bad things happening to me that time. I've sat alone and cried. I'm not, I'm vulnerable. But I know that it's okay not to be okay sometimes.
Thank you, ma'am.
This too shall pass. Everything, good and bad, this too shall pass.
So I think 50% of the battle is won when you're mentally strong. Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry?
Madam, my name is Gopal. Thanks to IIF Southern Region and Chennai chapter for connecting us to you.
Thank you.
Now we have got great confidence. Whatever happens to us, we can come to you. You will repair our wires and nerves, bring us to rejuvenation.
I will not repair. I will tell you where to put which wire
No
where,
problem.
and you have to repair.
No. Agreed. And definitely confident you will rejuvenate us to roar again. Thank you.
No.
No, this is not a question. I'm just trying to summarize, doctor, what she had was talking last 40 minutes. Very excellent speech. You said we are not Brahma, No one is born Brahma for the fact, and it is our grit within ourselves make us Brahma, number 2. Number 3, what she said, we don't really care that we should be acknowledged as Brahma by others. We live as we are, and let us others also see as they want to see me. So that's the whole message I suppose that I got from her 40 minutes talk, doctor.
Actually, never live your life as somebody else's version. That's what many of us are doing. You see, my father wanted me to do medicine, so I'm going in writing NEET exam. You'll make a useless doctor. Because you didn't do it because you wanted to do it. So like that, in everything in life, the choices we make. And remember, in case you feel you have no choice, you always have a choice. You have chosen to sit in this chair. If you get up and go, you're choosing to go out. Every day, everything we do is a choice. So how you want to live your life is also a choice. So don't think, she can do it, I can't do it. Everything is a choice.
Okay, one more question, madam. See, the role of spirituality and the well-being and mind wellness as well as healthy body, is there any role spirituality is playing?
Yeah, I said no, the holistic.
That I seen it.
Spiritual. See, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. So my best friends through medical college was a Christian and a Muslim. So we were called the, what did they call us? Something about secular trio. Because one Hindu, Muslim and Christian were very, very close friends. So spirituality, in my opinion, is not going to the temple. You want to go to temple, by all means go. But if you don't go, don't feel guilty. It does not even getting up in the morning, doing puja, all that you do as a choice. Okay? Remember that each person sitting in this room is a piece of the divine. Just yesterday I was listening to Sri M in a talk, and remember that all of us are bits of the Paramatma. So you have a sacred duty to live your divinity. So don't abuse the shell, the body. Don't abuse, dirty your mind. Don't let people with dirty feet walk through your mind. So do what you have to do. Find your purpose. Each one's DNA is unique. There isn't another DNA like yours. So just identify what is your DNA, and we're all given certain roles by God. So try to identify what your role is and live your role. So ikigai will happen. All of you must be familiar with ikigai. Ikigai is when you're, as far as work is concerned, you're doing something you love doing. You also are paid for it, and it also contributes to the world. So actually you can live a very good life with just simple principles like that. And never forget to be grateful. I've been writing a gratitude diary for 30 years. So every morning you get up and write 3 to 10 things for which you're grateful. I'm grateful I could come here, I had a car and driver, I could come here. I'm grateful I'm sitting among people who are appreciating me. I'm grateful they gave me a bottle of water in front of me. So nothing is too big or too small to be grateful for. So when you count your blessings, you attract blessings. See, you get back what you send out. The law of karma. So karma yoga is a good way. Do what you have to do in the spirit of the divine, the best way you know how. Be grateful that you're able to do it. And the results will take care of it themselves. They'll be good. They have to be good. Because excellence, definition in my book, is personal integrity. Don't cheat yourself. It's personal accountability and personal responsibility. These are the 3 in my book, the definition of excellence. You fulfill those 3, you will automatically be the most productive person in the world.
Thank you once again, Doctor, for making this section more interactive. We will indeed rewire our brains and we'll bounce back stronger. We now request Mr. V.P. Premkumar, National Council Member IIF, to felicitate our guest of honor with a traditional Angavastram. We now request Mr. S.R.V. Ramanan and Mr. Sanjay Sharoff, National Past Presidents, jointly felicitate our guest of honor with a memento. Thank you, sirs. We have now come to the end of the morning session.